Look! It just came out! Look at that!
I love it.
It's Olympia weekend after hours, and we are back with another great show planned. We have a special guest joining us today. Actually, we have a couple, but the first special guest is here right now. My old friend Troy Moore. A lot of people know him as a top national NPC bodybuilder. Back in the day, Troy and I used to train back in the early 90s together. And actually, the show is going to be a tribute to Bob BONHAM, who just passed. And Troy actually introduced me to Bob BONHAM back in the early 90s. Troy, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
I call you the eternal, you're like Peter Pan. You're like the eternal kid because you're what, like 80 years old now? And you still look like you're 25?
I just turned 59.
Unbelievable. This guy never ages, John.
Whose dog is being?
I don't know.
Put him, that's my pit. I'm going to put him in the office.
All right, put him in the
I'll
other
be right
room.
back. Right back.
All right. John, does Troy ever age? He looks the same as back in 1992 when I met him. He looks the same.
He looks exactly the same. If he shaved his beard off and colored his hair, he would look exactly the same as he did.
And he still has his hair. Yeah. That's the whole thing.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He's like, and
his hairline is down to his eyebrows still, too. I don't know how he did that.
So my wife tells me, listen, you look 10 years younger. Why don't you shave that shit off your face? She goes, it's terrible. I said, but that's my style now.
You look like King Tut from the old Batman movie.
No. He's doing the Boyd Coddington route here. He's like, he's in his second life. He's the car guy now. He's got to look the part, So he's kind of like. You can expect if you're going to go buy a '60s muscle car, get it restored. You're going to him,
right?
You don't want a pretty boy. You want somebody who knows his.
You walk in the joint, you better look at him. That's what I'm going for,
Actually, Troy probably knows Mr. G longer than I do, right? You know the Smallies forever, right?
Oh my God, George. Well, Dave, do you remember the time when I walked past in the Arnold Classic and you were on stage and George was painted green? They were going, "Oh my God, it's unbelievable, Rob and George!" And they got on their knees and they ran down the aisle. Do you remember that?
Well, did you guys go to high school together, or what? How did you guys know each other from back in the day?
I was in 9th grade. Rob was in 12th grade. So Rob just turned 62 last week.
Right, and George is like 63, I think, right?
Yes.
That's crazy. So yeah, they know each other, John, that long. They grew up together.
And I still talk to Rob at least once a week. He calls me up and says, I'm 283. What do I do? I said, Rob, you got to leave. He eats a box of honeycomb every single day.
Rob Smalls, that heavy?
Whoa. Bobby Smalls is 283?
Oh, my God. He's going on with a contest with this guy, Ronnie Wright, that I know. He's a golf pro, and he's like 300. They go out to eat every night.
I didn't know. Yeah, Rob likes to go to fancy dinners. Yeah, that's his new thing.
Yeah, but Rob was a twig.
He's an athlete. Remember, he used to always tell us, I'm an athlete.
He's 283 pounds.
Wow. We got to get him on the show.
But he's a fat fuck. He's not like a built guy, right?
He hasn't seen the head of his penis in years.
Oh, John, we have to do an intervention, I think, on Bobby Smalls.
No, we got to save him. Yeah. What the fuck?
Bobby was the guy who used to walk around the lobby naked. You remember?
Georgie, what the fuck? You let your brother go to hell. What the hell happened, man? You put on the show with us every fucking day for weeks, and you don't tell us your brother's 283? What the fuck? And he can't even hear me.
He can't. I'm waiting for the punchline. Exactly.
George is great. What's up, George? What's up, George? How are you?
George, your brother Bobby Smalls is 283.
I have a bad signal. Could you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can see you.
Hey, Dave.
What?
My brother has no teeth.
I thought he has less teeth than you?
No. He has no teeth. He's getting a whole set of teeth, but he's been negotiating for 3 months between dentists, so he has completely no teeth.
Tell him to call Bill Brownstein. Bill Brownstein can help you.
What, Georgie? Why is your brother 283 and hasn't seen the head of his penis in 20 months. But like Troy just told us, we've been hanging out with you every freaking day. You don't tell us your brother's gone to pot. We got to wait till we get Troy on the show to find out what's going on. What the hell? How do you let your brother, you, Mr. Freaking Fitness, how do you let your brother get like that?
Are you finished?
Yeah, go ahead, George. I want to hear this explanation.
Yeah, I want to hear it now.
I do too.
I got him on track. He just lost 25 pounds.
What, overnight?
Yeah,
his teeth fell out. He can't eat.
What happened to his teeth, George?
You can't. That's like the rooster taking credit for the dawn. You can't do that. If he doesn't have any teeth and he can't eat, he's going to lose 20 pounds. But he's still, from what Troy's saying, that's throwing a deck chair off the fucking Titanic. Well, how did you let him get that way?
I told him I'll send him all the food.
He's a fat cat now, John. He's making too much money. That's why. And he's eating the fat meals, every night.
No,
all he does is eat lobster and steak all day long.
He takes all his clients out to those high-end restaurants,
right?
Steak places.
But he's the athlete. He always was bragging about how good a shape he's in, and he always wasn't very good shape.
He always was.
George, I get a text from your brother. He goes, "I'm calling you in 3 seconds." Not even 3 seconds on the phone. He goes, "You got to help me out, Troy. What do I do? Look at this." He's pointing down to his stomach. Look at this. And I go, and his wife comes in. Cheryl comes in and goes, "I can't help him. He eats a box of honeycombs every single day."
Look, he's got a machine, Dave. I got him a machine like you got.
What?
With the cable crossovers thing that you can put, you can adjust the levels.
Right.
He's got that.
Why doesn't he go to the gym?
What?
Why doesn't he go to the gym?
It's his. He doesn't because he trains it. He wants to train at home.
He always went to the gym though. He was a gym guy.
He goes to Steve's gym and he sits in the office. With
I was gonna say he's at Steve's gym all the time because he makes Steve's clothing.
Yep. But he doesn't do anything apparently, but sit there and eat donuts. What the fuck?
Diet. Look, it's his diet. He has to go on a. I told him you got to go on a stringent diet.
Yeah.
But George, that would have been a valid point when he was 200. Now he's 280. I mean, actually, that's like Valentino saying, when should I stop shooting my arms?
You're adding 10% onto it.
No way. Come on, you tell me he's not out with Ronnie Wright every single night eating dinner.
Yeah, he's too.
Okay, there you go.
Troy, he's 260.
Oh, he lost 20 pounds.
That's what he lost, like the glass of water he drank last night.
He's got no teeth.
Now, let's get back to the teeth thing. He always had teeth. What happened to his teeth?
Okay, so he lost a couple teeth, and then and he had caps, and they fell out.
Right.
So, because my brother wants to get the best deal, he hasn't pulled the trigger yet, because it costs like 40, 50 grand, right? So meanwhile,
for your whole mouth, maybe.
He goes out on sales calls, right, to athletic directors from Hofstra University, from all these top-end universities, right?
Yeah.
No teeth,
right?
Flip-flops with socks, right?
How are you going to close a deal? No teeth.
He's a great, because they. Well,
he doesn't stop talking. You want to get rid of him out of the office.
Exactly.
No, when my brother takes all these guys out to dinners, he has tickets for the New York Islanders front row. All this stuff that he does for the clients, like at the lacrosse the college championships, Division I. He has a big giant booth. He pays like 20 grand for.
Wow. He took me to a few dinners too. Yeah. He
does the right thing. Look, he does the right thing with his client.
Hey, when I went home last, I'm the one that took everybody to dinner. They didn't splurge for nothing.
You can't be showing those fancy cars that you're restoring on your Facebook and Instagram, Troy, because everyone thinks you're making millions, doing that.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Put up Troy's. What is it? Facebook or Instagram? Which one would have better pictures?
Either one.
What's your
go to
Instagram? What's your Instagram?
It's Troy.tmotors.
Troy.tmotors.
Yeah, I'm happy for you, Troy.
He has built some insane freaking cars, man.
Yeah, he's a great. He was doing that when we were younger, when we were like 19.
But you stopped.
George,
you stopped for a while.
Camaros and my Z28s and stuff.
Yeah.
Troy, how did you learn how to do all that?
Mike Fink, who is a local guy around the corner, we started with models, and then we blew the shit up out of those things when we were 13, 14. And then the first car that Mike, my friend that we grew up with, we pushed home a 64 Barracuda, no engine. And he goes, we're going to build this sucker. And then my grandfather was real sick. He had a 67 vet. He shipped out to me, and we had a garage on Long Island. In Queens, you didn't really have garages. So my grandfather was out every weekend. And we actually finally finished. Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
That was last week.
Nice.
Is that the what? I can't see. Is that the, oh, it's.
How do you
That's
do
the
the rims, Troy? Do you send those rims out?
That's the one I asked you. It's the one I asked you about before, right?
Yes.
Who chromes those rims?
Who makes them?
Who chrome? You buy them new, or is those?
No, I buy them brand new. I buy everything brand new. All the trim, all the badges.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a Bronco I'm working on.
So how much? Bring back that red car for a second. How much money did you have to put into that car to restore it to the way it looked like that?
Probably about 30 grand. I bought the car for about 20 something. It's worth about, paint job's about 20 grand. That's about 4 layers of different colors.
And what would you sell something like that for?
55, 60 grand.
Wow. Okay. But it's a lot of labor. I mean, it's all labor, really, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
You haven't experienced torture until you've wet sanded an entire car.
Yeah, like I'm doing with the one you just passed. See that 67
wow,
green
that's
Mustang?
cool.
Yeah, that was one of my old cars. That Mustang right there, that's got to have at least 200 hours worth of labor up until that point.
Wow. Now,
I'm about to spray it this weekend.
When do you work? Do you work during the day, or you work at night on these things? How do you do that?
I'm here at 6 in the morning till 5 o'clock at night.
Oh, you work 12-hour days. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I have off Fridays now because I'm building a custom garage in my backyard, which is a 5-car garage, John.
Oh, wow. Holy shit.
And I got a 3-car garage up front. So
You got me beat by 2 cars then.
Now,
well, I have the property. I have an acre and a half.
what do you drive yourself?
I have a it's root beer color.
Right.
It's a Dodge Hemi Bighorn truck. It's all lifted.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It should be there in the pictures.
Oh,
You'll
yeah,
see
you
it.
can find the truck, the Hemi truck, the root beer
Hey,
color.
which, by the way, you should also say, as far as it goes with bodybuilding, Troy was one of the smallest guys, smallest guys. You were a wrestler. You started out, but Troy was about 115 pounds.
112 I wrestled in. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
nice.
I remember when you started working out when you were 18. You liked it, and then you got so big and won the America.
Yeah, I won the Masters Nationals.
Well, congratulations. Awesome.
Yeah.
Troy also did Wayne D'Amelia's spinoff.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I got suspended for a year for that. I had to you know how that works.
He had
But they
remember
paid
that
you money.
show? The first show they had Weinberger like infiltrated. He went in and he put his new sneakers on and went in.
Yeah,
And-
put it this way. Steve was very pissed off at me. But you know what, John? I was 45 at the time. Wayne paid me 10 grand just to do the show.
Yep.
And then do the one in England.
Yeah.
So I said, listen, I'm on my last hurrah. There was no 202 class, 212 back in those days. I had to compete against those monsters. You know, and
you competed against Silvio Samuel, didn't you? I mean,
Yep.
that was.
So back in 19. Yeah, good.
I think you look better for that show than he did for in the pay. You looked amazing for that show.
Thank you.
Yeah, Troy. I mean, you really took your genetics to the as top as you can get. I mean, it's a testament, yo.
In '94, Troy and I did the Junior USA together. That was my first national show ever. It was in Chicago on Easter Sunday, or it was on the Easter Sunday
Easter
weekend.
weekend, yes, yes,
So
yes.
we fly out there, we do the show. How did you place that show? What place?
Third.
You were third, and I was third in the heavyweights. You were third in the lightweights. And so then we for some reason weren't going home till Monday. So Sunday we were like, it was Easter Sunday, nothing was open.
Yeah, he froze.
The only thing that was open was McDonald's, which was right across from the hotel we were at. We ate
Oh my
there
God,
like 4 times a day.
we spent like an hour there. We spent an hour there.
We were there 4 times. I was there I don't know about him. I was there 4 times a day. That's how we spent Easter 1994 together, Easter Sunday at McDonald's.
Yep.
But yeah,
Dave, do you hear me? Because we had a bad signal. I had a bad signal before. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we hear you.
You guys
fine,
see
Rob.
me? Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank
What's
you.
up, Big Rob? You back on?
Hey, how are you, buddy?
Good, yourself?
Good, thank you. Good to see you, man.
Hey, I see Big Greg over there.
What's going on, Troy? How you
Looking
doing?
at incognito. How you doing,
There's
brother?
Greg. I was waiting for you to come on, Greg.
Greg,
Yeah, no, I
Dave,
was
I'm
sitting
very
here
sorry
watching
about
them
your friend
cards.
Bob about your loss.
So
Thank you. I appreciate
So yeah, we're going to talk about Bob
RxMuscle.
Bonham now, who obviously is the former owner of Strong and Shapely Gym, who just passed a couple days ago. And Greg had called me and told me you're going to tell that whole story in a second. But I want to tell people how I met Bob, because Troy actually is the person who said, Dave, we got to go out and train, because we were training at the same gym together, World Gym Babylon at the time in the early 1990s. He said, Dave, we got to go out to Bob Bonham's Strong and Shapely Gym. I'm like, what's that? He's like, oh, you never been there? You got to go there. My friend Bob, he owns this great gym in New Jersey. So we drove out there one Saturday morning. And I don't like to wake up early, but for bodybuilding, I'd wake up. We woke up, we drove out there, and Bob just basically opened his doors to us and said, guys, whatever you need and whatever you want. I think we went out to eat with him. And that's how I became friends with Bob, through Troy. And so
Gone. He's gone.
There he is.
Bob's ghost is pissed.
When the snake spit the thing.
what happened? Were we gone? Did I break up?
Oh, I know.
Fuck.
What
Dave's
happened?
gone.
I'll tell you a story you won't believe.
What's going on, Tyler? We
Well, we
broken
can't
up?
see you.
I
We
see
hear
you.
you, but we can't see you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can see him.
okay.
I
There
can't
he
see
is.
you.
He's far away though.
Oh no,
He's
I got
always
2
far
different
away.
views. You guys, I'm the.
There you go.
There I am.
Oh, there he is.
All right.
There you go.
There he is.
Anyway, so Troy took me out to see Bob in the early 1990s, and that's how I became friends with Bob. But Greg, you had already been friends with Bob for many years before that, right?
Yeah, I've been almost 40.
Wow. When did you meet Bob for the first time? Do you remember?
Yeah, we were. It was, I think.
Oh, this is gonna suck. Greg broke it up.
Organizations,
Started
and then the NPC was a new organization. It just came around.
Yeah.
And I had just built a gym, and Bob was a promoter, started promoting shows for them. And he came to my gym to hand out posters for his show because, I was a New York promoter. He was a New Jersey promoter.
Right.
And that's how we met, like that. And we clicked. I had a lot of like bodybuilders at my show, pro bodybuilders guest posing and stuff. So.
But back in the day, Bob didn't work out, did he, when he was promoting shows?
Oh yeah, he worked.
Oh, he
out.
did? Okay. I don't know why we're losing these guys.
We said Vince. Bob is like, people don't know. He was like a historian. He trained at Vince Gironda's gym.
Oh,
You know what I
really?
mean?
Oh,
yeah.
In Venice?
Yeah, he lived out there for a while,
Whoa.
and he trained in the original.
I didn't know that. What was it, like Studio City or something like that it was in?
Him and Leon together back in those days.
Yeah, Leon was there. Yeah,
Yep,
he knew
yep.
all of the. He knew all of those guys.
Where was
Arnold,
Vince's
everything.
gym? Was it in Studio City back then?
I think so. I'm not really 100%
John, you know that?
sure.
Where it was?
I actually met Vince Gironda, but I didn't know him. I only met him because of Bob. Bob knew him. Bob trained in his gym every day.
Wow. That's crazy. I didn't know Bob was like a real, like I didn't know he wanted to be like a bodybuilder type of, guy. I thought he just was a gym owner.
Vince Gironda's gym was in the Valley. It was on Ventura.
Oh, okay.
On Ventura Boulevard in the Valley.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because
Yeah,
I
you know what
I
he's
trained there. I trained there a couple of times too at Gironda's, but just for something new,
What was it
People say, "Oh,
like,
yeah,
John, that gym?
It was a dungeon, you know. I remember it had a freaking Universal machine in there.
Oh, did it really? Like one of those ones in your high school gym? Like,
The chrome one from
Yeah.
the high school.
I never trained at his gym, but I met him. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he was old, you know, when I met him. But Bob trained there when, like, you know, Don Peterson, like a lot of guys, like you know, were young.
You
still,
knew
you know
all
what I
those guys.
mean? Legends, you know, were there, and Bob would say that, you know, Vince was very, you know, very strict. Bob was very strict. You know, Bob was a very strict gym owner.
you think he got that from Vince? Because Vince was brutal, I heard.
Give a shit. Like one time, one of the New York Jets, Jumbo Elliott, who was also in the Giants, he left a dumbbells out on the floor that he was using, and Bob turned off the music, and he got on the microphone and he said, "Jumbo Elliott, put back your weights." And you know, Jumbo Elliott was pissed off, and he stormed up to the gym and he's like, you know, up to the front counter, and he told Bob, are you fucking kidding me? And you announced my name. If you felt that way, why didn't you just come over? And he said, I announced your name purposely. I wanted everybody to see that just because you're Jumbo Elliott, you're no different than anybody else. I'll yell at him. It didn't matter. Put your fucking weights back or get the fuck out. He didn't care.
No.
That's great. It's a good story.
Remember when Bob had that gym when you
Yeah.
went up the hill, and he was in the process of buying the one on East Rutherford.
Right. Yeah, I think it was over by the railroad tracks over there.
Correct.
Right. Yeah, I remember you. Shit, we were all young.
We're about 85, 86, right? Somewhere around there.
It was somewheres around there. Yeah, we
Yeah.
were young. I mean, fuck, I was, you know, in my 20s, you know, and I'm 61 now. So, you know, Bob was young, you know.
Yeah.
It was Bob always
You're breaking up, Greg.
thought maybe he was not, you know, like was a little too strict, you know, about things. So maybe they didn't like him because he would have arguments in his gym. He didn't give a shit who you are. You know what I mean? I tell the story all the time about, you know, The Rock. Carlo Philpone will tell you about that story. He was right there.
That was an
Yeah,
embarrassing story.
Carlo was always around with us back in
Yeah,
the day.
Carlo was helping me and Carlo and Bob's son, who's, you know, his stepson, but he raised him since he's 1 year old.
Yeah.
We had the hardest fucking thing was moving them mats from the, you know, from the gym you're talking about, Troy.
Yeah.
You remember Troy upstairs? They had upstairs. So man, moving rubber mats, equipment's easy. These fucking rubber mats are heavy and they, you know, they flop around and everything.
And we stayed at his house that weekend because he didn't want nobody to go home until we moved everything.
I would go home.
He was smart. Sequester you guys there, you know, so that no one can get out of there until you're done.
And the Rock didn't have forgot his workout stuff, you know. So The Rock asked Bob, do you have a shirt or something I could wear while I'm working out? And Bob said, sure. And he took one of the shirts off, you know, like the hanger.
Well, you got to pay for it.
That's right. He gave the Rock the shirt, and the Rock wore it.
Shit, Greg keeps breaking up.
Bob told him, hey, listen, you know you owe me like $10 or whatever it was. For sure. And the Rock goes, what for? What are you talking about? And he goes, I bought you, I gave you a shirt, and you never paid me for that shirt. And the Rock was like, oh shit, I'm so sorry, you're right. And he gave Bob the money, but that's the last time he went to that gym. But the reason why I tell you this is because Bob would give you the shirt off his back, but not off his thing. But no, he'd give you the shirt off his back. But when
for $10.
but the thing is if you know, he was a man of principle, you know, but if you were supposed to do this, you know, he expected you to do that. You know what I mean? Like, so some people kind of, you know, there's some people out there, you know, who he fought with because, you know, maybe they didn't adhere to the rule of the gym and they thought, you know, because I'm a pro bodybuilder, I could do what I want to do. And
it's business.
What's
Business
that?
first. Your business first, bodybuilder second. He's a business guy. That's
He
why
didn't-
him, Weinberger, they're both successful because they
Well,
treated it like that.
you know, bodybuilders are dead ass broke. They ain't got no money.
Yeah.
Oh, he had. I'm going to tell you, that is another one. There were guys that would come in from the IFBB, pro bodybuilders and stuff, and they would come in and they think that they're going to train for free, and he would let them train for free, but you got to let them know ahead of time.
Right.
They come in, they tell the girl behind the desk or the guy behind the desk, I'm so and so, and I'm gonna, I'm with the IFBB, and even the girl knew after a while, I'm not going to let him in because he'll get fucking. Bob had an office behind the counter. Bob would freak out. He would tell the guy, you can't just come here and think because you're IFBB, we want to tell my landlord, oh, I let this IFBB pro train, so I don't have the money to pay the rent this month. So Bob was a man of principle. I've seen him freak out over guys not taking handles off the cable crossover. If he saw you put a handle on the cable crossover, wherever you got that handle from, and the thing is though, is he kept a clean gym. So you can say what you want about that.
He would come over and say, "Come over here a second, let me talk to you." And if the guy answered back, you saw Bob turn purple.
Oh, he took no
He literally
shit.
turned purple.
But that gym was huge.
Yes.
And it was immaculate. I mean, it was probably the cleanest gym I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I mean,
And you know what he did, John? John, you know what was crazy about that gym? Like, he liked to do things that no other gym had. Like, for instance, he had the mirrors on the ceilings on the corner.
Yeah.
On the corner up the benches. So when you were actually benching or doing like doing flies, you could actually watch yourself. You're up in the
You can
mirror.
see the angles.
Yeah. The angles were great. Those angled mirrors.
Where the corners and were like weird, no dust. I mean, everything was cleaned out. I mean, it was.
Well, Bob was a perfectionist about that stuff. That's why the gym looked so immaculate. He lived the gym. Look, the most successful gym owners are the ones that are there all the time. Steve Weinberg is always at his gym, and that's why it's so successful.
Joe Gold never left.
I mean, so was Bob. Bob slept in his gym. He had an office with a bed and everything in the back.
And the shower in the back too, because he made me
yes,
shower
he did.
once.
He had a shower.
Oh, really?
He had a shower in the back and a bathroom on a pedestal. Which it was,
Wait, that gym's still open, Greg? Right?
He sold it to Paulie. Shit, I don't remember Paulie's name. It's the kid's name is Paul.
It's still called Strong and Shapely?
Yeah, the guy actually, they just put a shrine out to Bob.
Oh,
the girl
really?
behind the desk, Joanne, worked there. They put listen, Bob built an incredible gym, and when he ran shows, the same thing. He always had a packed
Suburban,
house.
the East Coast Championship,
Right.
the Jersey Classic,
Women's Extravaganza.
Extravaganza.
Miss Olympia. Yeah, how many times he ran to Miss Olympia because the promoters would drop out. And Bob started. He helped to bring bodybuilding where it is. He started, used to help Wayne D'Amelio do the Night of Champions. And,
Champions Day.
Right, the Champions Day was the you're
best.
exactly right.
And he paid everything out of his own pocket.
No, let me explain. This is how Champions Day worked. Champions Day was, and people won't understand that today because there's so many divisions, but there was only basically men's and women's bodybuilding then. And so if you placed top 5 at any national show, Nationals USA, North American, Junior USA, or Junior Nationals, you were invited to come to Champions Day. If you showed up with someone else, like your girlfriend or who was not a champion, they weren't allowed in. No one came in. And Bob would get Bleckman to underwrite the whole thing with Twin Lab. So that they'd pay for all the food and the supplements, right? I think pretty much Bleckman
everything.
Yeah, no, that's why I got in, because Shelley got invited to Champions Day.
You're lucky they let you in.
Bob liked me. I don't know.
But I'm just saying, probably you came in because of muscular development, but Bob would not. Victor Martinez showed up with a couple friends of his one year. Bob told him to get lost.
Wow.
I was there when I was at Bob's house, and Shelley Beatty was staying at his house.
Yeah.
She was there at the house when we were there. It's funny because I think I told you that what's his name was there too. Fucking fucking the guru there.
Dan DeShane?
Yeah, and that's when he was like wacky, you know. And I would talk to him and say shit, and he would, you know, he was just very odd. And I know John was very good friends with him. But I remember one time I was sitting in the kitchen, and Debbie Bonham used to make these meatballs, and I was sitting in there and I was eating the meatballs, and I'm talking to Bob, and I didn't know that I was talking shit about Duchesne. And I didn't know that Duchesne was standing right behind me. You know, I was saying all this shit. What the fuck's with Duchesne, man? First of all, cut that hair. That shit looks like shit. It was like straw. And this is not long before he died. And you know, I was like, man, he's like fucking like wacky. He's like he seemed to me like one of these guys that lived out of an old Volkswagen van, you know, and you know, like still stuck in his 60s and 70s. But you know, because he was eccentric to me. And I was saying all this shit, and then Bob's like this, trying to like stop me from talking. And what, because Duchesne was standing right above me like that. And then I turned, I looked. You know, I always do. You have no fucking clue. I'm the king of that. And I'm like, oh, dude, he was really good about it. But
Duchesne, because that's exactly what he would do. He would no filter on him either. So
yeah, he was.
Greg, I missed what you said. You said that you looked up at him. What did he say? He's breaking up. They're
fucking wanting your mic, Dave.
I'm losing
Dave.
you, Greg.
George went to go get some cookies.
No, wait.
Greg, can you repeat what you said about Duchesne?
Yeah, I said, well, they all heard me. It's only you that didn't hear me.
For some reason, the internet broke up here. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Tyler, you're fired.
When you looked up, you said you looked up and Duchesne was there. What happened?
I looked up and Duchesne was there standing behind me, and I was like mortified because I'm always getting fucking caught talking behind people's back, you know?
I got you.
So I'm like, you know, I'm like, oh shit. And Bob was like, I'm trying to tell you, you know, and Duchesne was actually very good about it. He told me, nah, don't worry about it. Like everybody talks, you know, like that. And he was very good about it.
I tell you, look, he went to get a cookie.
No, New York style.
Did you make that?
Yes. And by the way, Dave.
Yeah.
Sunday, I'm driving to Florida.
You are?
Yes.
What part?
He's staying with you. He's staying with you, Dave. Babysitting.
No. I'm going to Boca, and I got a real estate agent taking me to look for houses in Boca.
Wow. Very nice.
So.
What's going on with? Are you fighting Big Lenny? People will keep asking me. What's going on with that?
Yes, when I get down there, I want to do it. If you can see the poster behind me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
November 14th. I want to make it on Veterans Day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find a place down there and then go find Lenny.
Does Lenny know that? That he's fighting you?
That's a good question.
Good question, Rob.
Hey, Greg, how are you?
As with most things that have gone on with this, Lenny knows nothing about.
Well, because
Mr. G does. Georgie's got it all planned out, but the only thing is Lenny knows nothing.
Well, because Rob was supposed to set the whole thing up.
Right.
His boy Rob, and apparently he got mad. He got mad when we talked on the show. Then told me, sent me a text.
We've heard the story 600 times. I know. Why don't you just take your brother? Why don't you just drive down there with your brother, Bobby Smalls, and just show up at Lenny's house? And Bobby Smalls can referee the whole thing.
No, I'm gonna go down there and either one of our listeners who has a gym, you know, one of our who listens to this show has a gym down there. We could do it right out of the gym, right? Or an MMA place. We could do it right out of there. We don't need a cage. It could be an open.
The high school went on to a boxing gym down there. Why don't you go down there?
This is us.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, he's in Boca.
Big Lenny and Georgie were face to face. All right? Georgie, you had your chance. You're not getting it again. This is never going to happen.
I'm not going to, John. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do it like that. It's got to be done the right way. I'm not gonna just.
Hey, you should have fucking headbutted him right
And then what?
there
And then
and
what?
finished him off, and
And
that
then
would
what?
have been it. We would be past this now. You'd be sending me cookies. I wouldn't be waiting, and it all would be good in the
And
world.
pretzels.
Yeah, an opportunity is only valid for its lifetime, and you blew it. You just blew it. So, the Big Lenny fight is never going to happen.
Window of
And
opportunity.
Rob Zilla, Georgie, Rob Zilla told me that Big Lenny wasn't aware of that.
Aware of what?
Aware of
Exactly
he's
what I
fighting you
said.
on that date.
I know. I just said that. I set the date myself.
Yeah, and I know. I don't think Rob and Big Lenny have spoken in a little while.
No, they can't follow. Here's the deal. They can't follow through. They don't follow through with anything. That's why
Yes.
they're where they're at. I follow through what I say. Just like I said, I'm moving to Florida. I'm coming down there. All
Dave,
right?
you're in trouble.
100% fact. And
Yeah,
just
they're
like I
not that
said,
organized. They're not that organized.
Yeah, they didn't want
to
to
be
organize.
honest.
Why would Rob drop out? I was setting up everything. I had Lee was gonna be a virtual reality bartender. We would have had the company. What is it called? Mental Zoo. You know, with the vodka. I had the vodka. I actually got some, but they couldn't follow through. You know, that's the deal.
Yeah, it's not going to
I follow through.
happen. It's not going to happen.
I follow through, so I'm still following through because the guy has a video up there, a YouTube video of disparaging my business for 30 seconds.
Hey, George,
I'm
why don't you
go-
fly
I'm
out here
going
this
to-
weekend? Tyson Fury's out here. Just walk up to him and hit him.
Well, I'm gonna.
Hey,
One way or
Lee is
another, he's
here.
gonna
I think
confront
you should fight Lamar Odom. That's who I think you should fight in a celebrity
me.
boxing
Where the
match.
fuck is
Dave.
Lamar Odom?
Dave,
Lamar
Lee is
Odom,
here.
The
Basketball player.
basketball player.
Hey, what's up, Lee?
Lee is here.
No fucking
I know. I
shit.
just sent him the link.
12:30.
Well,
Dave,
part
so
two of the show is
12:30.
supposed to be the flat Earth debate. So Lee was coming in for that. But
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Oh,
so
but he tells me 12:30. I get up. I say send link. 45 minutes ago, he says I'll send it, and I'm still sitting here. I've been up since 3 a.m. It's now 4:15. And I'm
I
still
started the show. I thought you were coming in for the second half for the flat Earth debate.
I said I was getting up for the fucking show. I've been up since 3 a.m. It's 4:15.
Oh,
Hey,
God, you guys.
Lee,
I've
have
been
you?
I don't
talking.
feel bad.
I've been talking
We
to
still didn't
Jimmy.
finish the Bob Bonham shit.
Have you ever? I was going to say, Lee, what was your interaction with Bob Bonham?
The gym part and shit.
Did you ever?
We didn't
Well,
even
that's what-
finish that, Lee.
I want you to know Jimmy the Bull is sitting in the truck with the window down saying, where are these fucking cunts?
I
I'm
sent him
about
the
to-
link. He hasn't come in yet.
How you going, Troy? It's good to see you, Troy. How
Hey,
you
Lee,
going?
how you doing, buddy? Long time.
Good. Now, Bob Bowman, now look, Bob was great because Bob was one of those people in the industry. Every time I had interaction with Bob, he was a straight shooter, no bullshit. He didn't, because me, I was always in trouble with the IFBB and I was getting it. But Bob loved it. He's like, Lee, you just be yourself. Tell him how it is. When I went to the PDI, he was a big supporter. He was there with Wayne at the show and that. But
We talked
had
about that. Me and you got our letters that day when we stepped on stage.
oh yes,
Except
yes.
Lee made
Look,
20 grand.
That's because Bob and Wayne were very close.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Bob and Wayne
Yeah.
committed very close.
Yeah,
That's
it's
how
all good.
I'm friends with Wayne because of that. I
Hey,
was
when
at
you
that
see
show.
Wayne, Greg, it's a running joke now. But when I did that PDI show and I was meant to get the NOC,
Uh-oh.
the ring. Look,
Oh.
I did that show mainly to get the ring because in 2000, when everyone thought I should have won the Night of Champions IFBB and J won, I got fifth somehow. The crowd went bullshit. If you were there, remember that?
Yep.
So I said, I want that ring. So I said, well, here's my chance. I did the PDI. I'm going to get the ring. I won it. Wayne said, what's your size? He had it made. I'm still waiting for it. So if anyone can get a hold of Wayne, I'm
Lee.
still waiting.
Lee, I
ring.
asked him. Lee, I ice for you. I asked him 2 times. He goes, "Oh, I'm going to send it to him."
Hey, Lee,
Wayne looks good though. Wayne looks young.
What's that, Troy?
I'll personally text you Wayne's phone number.
Thank you. I'm
Give
going
it
to
you
hound him.
now.
I'm going to hound him because I'm still waiting on it. It's the principle. I've been waiting all this time. I just wanted the ring.
You,
So
He
Greg,
looks good, Wayne. He looks young.
you know,
Yeah.
the
But
funny,
Bob, Bob always supported me in my bodybuilding. And when I did the PDI, he thought it was the funniest thing ever, the trouble I got in with the IFBB. And then we had that good time when I came out to his gym there with Greg and that. And yeah,
we had
good.
a great time there.
The ring,
the cream
the
pies,
funny thing about the
that
ring
was
is
the
we're
best
probably going to
time.
see it on eBay, I bet you, one of these days.
Yeah.
The Lee Priest lost PDI ring, you know.
And it has Lee's name on the back of it.
Yeah, of course.
I have a feeling it was. I love Wayne, but I have a feeling it was never made yet.
Yeah.
Well, I've still got time. I'm still waiting for it. It's
Yeah.
only been 2006, so what is it now? 2021, going 2022. I'm still waiting.
When I build the Bodybuilding Hall of Fame, I'll get the ring from Wayne. I'll put it up as a display on Lee's plaque.
Hey,
well,
Dave,
I'm going
definitely,
exactly.
we should all collaborate and build one.
I'm telling you, I want to do it. I got to bring Troy out here to Florida for like a couple weeks with John to build it. I'm going to have you guys build it right in my
But Troy's
building.
building cars. Troy's building cars. A ring can't be that hard with NOC on it or something.
No, I
we're
want to build
talking
the Hall
about-
of Fame,
We're
Lee.
talking about
about
big
building the Hall of
Roman
Fame.
pillars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna happen?
Sorry.
You know, nobody's gonna want to pay to see that shit because all bodybuilders are cheap cocksuckers.
I don't want anyone in my house anyway. It'll be a
Your
virtual
missus gonna be
tour.
free.
Well, I
competed
May 30th next year, I'll be at Venice Beach for my induction into the Walk of Fame there at Venice Beach. My plaque's already down there, so if anyone can bring the ring on the same day, I'd like the ring presented as well.
You're going to have to
You know
dodge
what?
between
You know
the
what?
tents.
If Wayne would pay attention, that's an absolutely golden opportunity for him to have Lee's ring presented to him on the day that he's inducted into the Venice Hall of Fame. That would be absolutely.
I'm sure that's
incredible.
just burning on Wayne's mind right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's the
There's two options.
Hey,
Two
it's been
options.
burning on
One, two,
mine.
and
It's
three
been burning
fly.
on mine. It's been burning on my fucking mind since
That's
2006,
right.
Greg.
Either Wayne never made the ring and just lied about it, or the ring is sitting in on his own mantelpiece, you know.
Or he
Or
lost.
he sold it to Blackman for fucking $100,000 or something
Well,
like
he
that.
said, he did tell me he did have it, and then in his moves and that, he thinks he might have lost it. But he always said, Lee, I'm going to get it to you. I'm going to get it to you. So I'm still living in hope.
Wayne, I'll give you $50,000 for the ring. I want Lee's ring.
Dave, how much does that ring cost? How much is that worth?
I don't know.
Look, I don't care. Look, I've got championship
Probably a
rings
Cracker
like
Jack
this.
ring, you know.
You can go online to championship sites and have rings made. Look, Wayne, you can get them made for $300-400. I don't care. Just get Night of the Champions.
Lee will
on
even pay for it. He
2006.
doesn't care.
I gotta see a real one. I think it's got NOC and diamonds
Yes,
on
it
it.
does.
Yeah.
It has
Hey,
NOC,
look, get me
Rubies
cubic
and
zirconia.
diamonds.
Get me cubic zirconia. I don't care if it's cubic zirconia or cut glass. Just fucking get me one.
Well, you know, when Steve took over the New York Pro, he made a New York Pro ring. Those rings are nice too, really nice that he had made.
I know. I see all these people with them. I'm like, where's mine?
You never won New York Pro. All right, let's. I want to get back to Bob, Greg, for a minute because we were talking about Bob early in his career and how he started Strong and Shapely Gym, how he ran the women's extravaganza, and how he did the Miss Olympia that year. That Kim Szewski's last year that she won. What happened to Bob, you know, as he started getting older? Because, you know, a lot of people are asking me how he died. I know you posted online that it was a suicide, but what transpired over the last couple of years that Bob went so downhill from there, you know, with his health?
There's a lot of little things that you know that happened. You know, I didn't want Bob to move. I told him, you're crazy, but he had met a girl. You know, he had a girlfriend, and you know,
Michelle.
Yes, Michelle, and you know, they were kind of fire and ice, but you know, he and her were going to try to make a go of it, you know, for the 30th time. And Michelle's a great girl. She's been actually helping me with this and helping him, you know. But anyway, he went down there. We bought a house with a swimming pool and everything, and he basically left his gym, which was his baby. I mean, he had that gym like 35 years or whatever it was. And they got down there, and the relationship didn't last
Miami.
at all.
Was he in Miami?
Boom. Yeah, that Miami area, that South Florida shit. But Anyway, so he's older now. He's in his at that point he was in his mid 60s, and he was starting to try to find somebody else because now he's all alone. He didn't really have any friends down there. I mean, he knew guys from the bodybuilding world, but they weren't people up here. He would, when he was up here, he was at my house. We hung out, and he's a brother to me. So, but he would call me and he would be depressed. And he would say to me, I can't believe it. I really thought, Michelle and I were going to have, but Michelle had her own demons, and he started self-medicating himself. And that's something I think that the people like listening to this, and that's one of the stories, like I was thinking about what I should actually say that I know and what I should shut my mouth about. But I think it's important because when my girlfriend died, this one here, it's on my arms, the one everybody knows my story about. When she died, at her funeral, she was panicking really bad. Her mother was panicking.
Hold on, Jimmy.
So listen, my girlfriend's mother was panicking really bad, right? And she was crying, and that's normal. You're at your kid's funeral. So her sisters came over and they stuck like Xanax and Percocets and all this shit in her mouth, and she spit him out. And she said, listen to me, I'm upset. I'm mourning my child's dead. I don't need no fucking medicine to try to make me forget and try to make me so I don't feel the pain that I'm supposed to feel. And Bob knew this because Bob was there when my girlfriend died and saw the whole thing. And he used to say, yeah, that was fucked up. Oh my God, she did the right thing. But then he started doing that. So what I'm trying to say is he started medicating himself because he was depressed.
Right.
And COVID didn't help either. You know what I'm saying?
Well, COVID didn't help, but this started before COVID. He was getting, what happens is, listen to me, you guys all must know this. People watching this all know. There's some people, it's even like drinking a beer. One guy drinks a beer and he's totally fine. Another guy drinks a beer and he's all fucked up, running around. There's some people who take a medicine that medicine just doesn't work with. You know what I mean? It fucks up the chemistry in their brain, especially, it wasn't doctors that were giving it to him. He was doing shit on the street, and it threw off his chemistry, and he actually started getting like mental illness from it. And he would start getting like paranoid, and Michelle was in and out of his life, but they now became friends,
Right.
and she was trying to help him, but she had her own demons herself. So this mental illness kind of grew in him, and he started to believe his father died of Alzheimer's. And he kept saying to me, Greg, I'm telling you, I got Alzheimer's. And I'm like, Bob, did you talk to a doctor about it? Yeah, I did. And I got Alzheimer's. And I'm like, Bob, you don't have no Alzheimer's. I mean, he was sharp. Even I talked to him just as he,
Yeah, you can't be sharp and have Alzheimer's. There's no way.
Yeah, so
Right.
Greg,
Right.
I spoke to him 3 weeks ago, and we always talk like maybe twice a month. And when I spoke to him, he was all over the place. He was gibberish. And
Well, you know why?
And I was trying to figure him out. I was like, Bob, are you all right? He's like, oh, yeah, and he would like just go about like 3 to 4 different stories at one time. And I was like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm just dealing with stuff. And you know how he is. He just didn't want to talk about anything. He didn't like to talk about anything personal.
That's exactly. See, he started like whenever I call him all the time, because he's brother to me, man. I call him all the time, and he would tell me, listen, don't ask me how I'm doing. Just talk. Let's talk about what's going on in the bodybuilding world. And I'm like, dude, you have no idea. Like, I can give two shits about what's happening. You know that already, and Bob. And what happened is, if you caught him when he was on a med, like if he just took his meds, he was wacky. I mean, he would be. You're right. He would actually slur his speech and you'd be like, oh my God, you're on your fucking meds. And he started getting paranoid, believing like, crazy shit, like the earth was flat. I'm just kidding, Jimmy. He would start believing all kinds.
Jimmy's at a dump truck. He's got bodies in there.
He would start seeing things, and this is when things started getting scary. Because his girlfriend, Michelle, his ex-girlfriend, Michelle, calls me and goes, Greg, it's getting bad. Because she'd find him, like, outside her house, like, sleeping in bushes and all kinds of crazy stuff. And he had nurses now helping him at his house, and he swore that they were abusing him.
And that's
and he kept telling me, you know, Greg, they want to do bad things to me. They want to do bad things to me. And I'm like, but you know, and Bob was the kind of guy, like, he didn't give a shit. You know, he would tell Mike Tyson to his face, "Fuck you, let's go. You may kick my ass, but I'll bite your fucking eyeball."
He wasn't afraid of anybody.
Right. Exactly. He stood up to anybody. He didn't care. So now
let's go on a happy note now. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I love him just as much as you. And I was with Bob a lot through the, I would say, early 2000s and stuff. And Bob actually was my best man at my wedding. And
I met you through Bob.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, my wife loved him for who he was and how he reacted. He had that crazy, bizarre personality.
Yes.
Always cracking jokes. And, you know, and if somebody said something.
Is that Troy Moore?
Oh, my God.
I didn't know that was you. I thought it was just some fucking guy just jacked away. How you doing, brother?
Hey, Jimmy, you never answered the phone. I called you several times.
You got gray, brother. What the fuck's going on over there?
I got hair. You don't.
That's right.
What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, brother, I'm just listening to you guys. I didn't want to interrupt, you know what I mean? Because I'm over here just doing my thing, and I'm about to dig a fucking hole for some guy over here. Just curse me out. I'm gonna fucking bury this motherfucker. That's what I'm gonna do. Fucking guy telling me I can't dump over here. I dumped 3 loads already over here, motherfucker. You tell me I can't dump the 4th one over here? I
Hey,
should come back here. I'll fucking dig a hole for your fucking ass.
You got the line with you?
I dumped my load in the toilet early this morning. Thank you very much.
After a cup of coffee, right, Lee?
No, I haven't got fiber light, so I got to use Metamucil. I'm still waiting. Maybe it'll come. Maybe it'll come with the Pop-Tarts.
Really? Listen, after a cup of coffee, it's
I
like
sent you
I'm gone.
2 weeks ago. Still hasn't gotten there.
It's probably a custom.
Anyway.
The customs guys.
I'll send
They
you a
steal
bottle,
it
Lee. I got
at the
a few
customs
bottles.
guys, yeah. So Jimmy, what are you doing
back-
out there? You doing another load?
Hey, I was listening to Troy's story. What happened? What happened to Troy's
I was
story?
waiting for the story.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
Finish
finish Troy's story. Go ahead. Don't worry. Then I'll tell you
right.
about this guy I'm about to kill. Go ahead. Let's finish the story.
So anyhow, you know,
I'm waiting for the comments now. It's like, this is a beautiful tribute to Bob with all these interruptions. just how Bob would like it.
so, you know, behind closed doors, Lee, you know, we had the USA's 2 days in a row. And, you know, Bob really loved my wife, you know, at the time when we were engaged. And he's like, dude, I really think you're going to win the USA. This is back in 2001. And he goes, you should make it Gina's Day too. Stop being a selfish prick. You know what I mean? And he goes, you got a good woman there. I said, okay. So we actually went out and got suits. We got a ring. And Bob goes, and I'm like, Bob, the ring's $5 to $10 grand. He's like, who cares? You're only going to get married once. So I did that. And Bob goes, you know what? We'll get a dinner together. So it was Ronnie. It was Victor Martinez. Robbie Lopez. It had to be at least 20 people at, you know, the dinner party. And Bob, you know, I whip out my credit card. Bob goes, no, I got it. And I go, Bob, you don't have to. So the next day was the next day I got, you know, Sunday. After the result came in, I ended up 3rd. I didn't win because they went to Pretty Boys from California, which I was pissed about. You know, your first guy called on, Lee, right? And you leave the first guy. You expected to win, right? So we all know how that works, you know? And, so, you know, that night, me and Bob had a couple of drinks. You know, he said, I really love you. I said, I really love you too, Bob. You're going to be my best man to man, you know, tomorrow. He's like, unbelievable. Michelle was there too. So she walked my, you know, Bob walked my wife down the aisle. Michelle was there and, you know, a couple of guys from the show. And I got married at the Riviera, you know? And then, you know,
which is probably not even there anymore, right, John?
No, it's not there anymore. So I had a limo outside. We went to party. Bob was like, let's go to after hours. You know how that was, Dave. You know? Yeah. So we were not by the end of the night, Bob had the tie. See the tie in the head? See the tie in the head?
Yeah.
Took the picture of?
Yeah.
Bob had the tie around his head. He was flying like a kite. No shirt on. We were in some restaurant.
Oh, here we get crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy I want to remember. You know what I'm
He
saying?
can get.
Greg?
I know what you're saying, but the story is very important because I think that at the end, he was panicking and he was calling me and stuff, and I feel that, listen, when he said goodbye to me, he had tried to kill himself a couple times,
Once before, that's how he broke his leg.
Right, he broke his neck, he broke, and everything. But he said to me, "Listen, Greg, I love you. You're my brother. I want you to know there's nothing that you could have done. There's nothing you could do." And I'm sitting there going, "Bob, what the fuck? Are you crazy? Stop talking like this." I told him, "You don't have mental illness." I mean, I said, you got mental illness. You don't have Alzheimer's. We can fix that by getting off those meds. No, 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 no. No, I can't, Greg. I can't. And then when I was in jail, he used to come see me and he used to tell me, tell me, listen, go to a place in your head. Think of something that was a great time, like a fun memory, a great place that you love so much. Go there and don't let the shit that's going on, in jail like that. Don't let that get to, like he said things to me that actually got me through that. So I told him, listen, Bob, go to one of those places in your head. Like you told me, follow your own advice. And he's going to be, Greg, it doesn't work. You don't understand. They want to kill me. They tie me down and they gag me and I scream.
Greg, maybe he did have dementia because you know what? That's that's a lot of, when you can't remember
but he
stuff.
would be like that.
Yeah.
It depended on when he was on the drugs.
Oh, so you think he was induced by the drugs he was taking is what you're saying?
I feel like the drugs. Right. I feel like all these kids I know. I went to school with a guy who was a fucking wrestler, was a badass, built, good-looking guy. And the minute he started fucking around with those things, he lost his mind. He now he walks around with with one of them
like
people with the hockey helmets on and shit. What's that?
Like a zombie.
Yeah, he's fucking done.
Bob lost his purpose when he went down to Florida. He should have had another. He should have opened had another purpose.
Well, exactly. He had no. He used to say, "I have no purpose even living." He at the end, because me and his sister talk all the time, and his brother-in-law, and they had a room for him to come back. And Bob had money. It wasn't like he was broke or anything. But they wanted him to come back, and I was telling Bob, listen, you got to come back, and he would bullshit me. Yeah, no, I'm coming back, just tying up some loose ends down here. But what it was that he was hooked on these head meds, not pain meds, not like Percocet and shit like that, but he was taking anti-anxiety, anti-depression medicines, and one of the side effects,
like Zoflar or something like that.
Right, one of the side effects of antidepressants is the feeling of committing suicide and all that. And the fucking guy, let me tell you something. You got to give him credit because he said to me, "Listen, I don't fear death, man. I want that. I want to die now, and it's living I fear because I can't live like this." This is what he's telling me. We're having an argument the other day on the phone about this, and he's like, "Greg, I love you, but please, there's nothing you could tell everybody." There's nothing you could do. There's nothing my sister could do. There's nothing anybody could do to stop me. I'm doing this. It's done. It's a done deal. And he was talking very clear. He wasn't like,
How many days before he actually did that, before he committed suicide, did he talk to you and tell you this?
One day.
Wow.
Michelle called me. I talked to Michelle that night. She's like, I know he's fucking crazy. He ran in the middle of the road, trying to get cars, fucking run him over a couple weeks ago. The cops come, they put him in the hospital for observation. And that's what he didn't like, because they would put him in the hospital and then they would tie him down there. I didn't mean the nurses. They would tie him down and then gag him, because he's told me, Greg, he goes, the minute you tie me down, I start screaming and they would gag me. And he goes, I don't want that. I'm afraid they're going to do that again. I'm afraid they're going to do that again. This is what he was saying, But I think, if we could have got him off the meds, he was convinced, no, I need them. They're the only thing that keeps me calm. If without that, I'll kill somebody, and he gave himself mental illness.
And plus, I wish if there was real friends around or people.
That's the problem. Troy, that's the problem. The problem is he left a gym and everything else. And he really did love Michelle, and Michelle loves him. Michelle is still calling me up every day, crying, like, you know, because they would talk every day, and they would fight like you had no idea. Like I'm on the phone, and she's like fighting with him. She's over the house like a couple weeks ago, and she's making him chicken nuggets, and he didn't want the chicken nuggets, and you know, because she was always there to help him. You know, always there to help him. You know, they're broken up. They should have stayed together, but
They were like best friends. Yeah.
right. But it's depression of being alone. You understand? You know, and his sister was like, get him the fuck back up here, because, you know, we're all here, the whole family, all his friends, everybody he knew, even the gym. And he had lost it.
You know what, Greg, let me, this is what look, just know, I didn't know Bob as well as you did, but I think and I've seen this in other older people too, Bob didn't want to be a burden to anyone. And I think he felt that his health was declining, whether it be mental health or regular physical health, I don't know. He felt that he was becoming dependent on other people, and he did not want to be a burden. He'd rather not live, because he was so hardcore that he didn't care. Like you said, he didn't fear death. He's like, I'm not going to be one of these guys that's like a vegetable that people need to take care of. I'd rather not be here. And I really believe that was Bob's mind, you know.
Dave, he wanted to be in charge.
Right.
That's what it is. It's that he wanted to control.
He loved to tell people what to do, how to do it right.
But he couldn't control himself anymore. That's what it is. Yeah. I don't think it's that he didn't want to be a burden. It's that he couldn't control. He was a control freak like you wouldn't
believe.
Right,
so he controlled when he was leaving this world. That's what he wanted. You know,
right, and that's what he said. He said, I'm not going to be tied down in a fucking bed somewhere in a nut house. He kept telling me that, you know, because they did it when he ran into a highway and shit, you know, things like that, you know. He tried to kill himself. He told me, Greg, they stopped me. I tried to hang myself. I broke something in his neck, and he said, I can't swallow anymore. And then on top of that, he said to me, now I don't know if this is true or if this is his mind making this up. He goes to me, I'm getting cataracts too, and so I'm going to be blind with Alzheimer's. And he goes, I'm not going to live like that. I won't be able to see. And I said, well, what am I going to get him operated on? You know?
Yeah. It was so negative that he was creating all these things.
Right. He wanted out so bad. If Michelle could tell you, you know, she fought with him. I mean, she was great. She kept him alive. If it wasn't for her, he probably wouldn't have been alive this long. But you know, he wanted to die so bad. He was like, fucking please, somebody give me fentanyl. I know that'll kill me right away. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, you know, he was just, you know.
But Greg, wasn't Bob also Bob was very religious, I know, at one point in his life,
yes,
too.
Well,
people don't know. People don't know this. Every time Bob ate a morsel of food, he did the sign across. I don't know if you know that, right?
Yeah,
but
so is it? Wouldn't he be afraid that if he committed suicide, though, that he wouldn't go to heaven or something like that?
No, he believed that I'm doing the right thing. That God wouldn't want me to live like this. Gotcha. Because if you look at his Facebook posts, Troy, check it out. Go to his Facebook.
I know. I was there. I was there that morning.
All he does is it's all God stuff.
September 27th was his last post, and he talked about, you know, how I love God, and God loves me, and all that. And I went
He's
about a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you saw the same message over and over and over. You know,
he was religious. I noticed people out there say he felt like this is the way out. And you know, even Dave, you said to me when I talked to you on the phone, you were even like, "Wow, you know, it takes a lot of guts and balls," and it did, because he didn't care. I mean, he waited. He was on 24-hour observation at the end, and he waited till the nurses took a break, and then said it's go time, and that was it. I know him. He didn't hesitate. He probably made the sign of the cross, and he did it. You know what I mean?
He didn't want to live like that, like in a closed up in a room.
But you know what he's too? I got to be honest with you. One other thing, guys. You know what it is? Also because he sold his gym, okay, and working out was his passion, but he got rid of his gym. He's down there. He's alone. Again, Michelle was there as his friend and really did help him a lot. But he wanted a companion. But the other thing, too, is, okay, he was telling me, one of the last things he was saying to me was, I can't even do a push-up or sit-up or pull-up.
Yeah.
And I can't work out. And because he lost so much weight because he's on the drugs and everything. And, you know, he felt like, and this is the thing that kills me, I wish he could see the love that I'm getting. I mean, I have Lee Haney, Victor Martinez calling me up, all these people saying stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And he felt like bodybuilding, all he put in, like he felt like alone, like they forgot about him. You know what I mean? Like that you know, he felt like they were not like they just forgot.
Well, you know what happened when Wayne and split with everyone, and when you know, he sided with Wayne, and obviously he was on the wrong side of the
the pendulum. He was on the wrong side of the pendulum. And
so he lost his shows and all that stuff he was promoting, and I think that was very depressing for Bob, you know.
Yeah, and slowly but surely, like Dave, like you said, they slowly took stuff away from him. When he lost it was the last resort, you know what I mean? And he had nothing to go to, like a schedule every single day.
He needed that gym. He should have stayed at the gym.
Hey, you know what I'm upset about? I was with Tara Scotti, right? Saturday night. I was with Tara Scotti and Dana Capabianco. I was at their house, and I would have loved, you know, Tara had some other stuff going on, but I would have loved to have put her on the phone with Bob. I was going to, you know, if we would have had a moment, I could have put her on the phone with him.
Yeah. Called
her because he loved her. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it would have given him a little bit of, even a pause things for
He already told you about Greg. There was nothing you could do that would have changed his mind.
I know that. He told me because he was afraid, you know, he knows that I'm very upset about this. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you know, me and his brother-in-law crying and his mother.
Well, you know, he's looking down and saying, "Look at these fucking knuckleheads right now."
But I hope he's looking down. You know what? I'm angry with him too because I'm hoping he's looking down because do you know how many people in this industry who he thought forgot about him?
They didn't.
You know,
he could have used all that. He still could have promoted big time.
Oh yeah, he wasn't too old. You know what it is? He threw it all away, and then he lost himself with the fucking goddamn medicine.
The fucking drugs, Greg.
And you can't. When you get somebody on drugs, and George, you do a life coach stuff.
You're a zombie.
You know. The first thing you have to do to try to fix somebody's they got to get off the drugs. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, no matter what.
Hey, Jimmy, you there? We still have Jimmy the Bolt?
Jimmy's still burying bodies. There he is. Look.
Jimmy, let me ask you a question, Jimmy. Jimmy, would Bob yell at you when you would lift in his gym? I don't think.
At me?
Jimmy.
You're talking to me?
Yeah, when you would go to Bonham's gym with Strong and Shapely, would he scream at you because you were ruining the equipment?
Bob had a 3x2-foot poster of me in the gym back in the day. He never yelled at me.
He doesn't like when you throw the dumbbells, though. He didn't have a problem with you?
He got special dumbbells for me and everything, Bob. He used to call me every year, do the extravaganza. He had the strongest shapely day. What was that day he had every year?
Yeah, Champions Day.
I was there with Greg a couple of times.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, Champions Day.
Yeah. Jimmy, you know he passed away, right? Did you know that, Jimmy, that he passed away? He committed suicide.
I only found out. Lee texted me last night and told me. Then I texted Dave. You know, I had no idea that he passed away.
Jimmy was trying to use the shovel on the ice wall. He was trying to shovel through the ice wall with that shovel.
Hey, Jimmy. How's your health, buddy? You still playing?
You know, Dave. One day you're gonna eat those words. One day, Dave. You're gonna eat them. That's what's gonna happen.
Next week, by the way, we're gonna have our SpaceX. Kyler's friend from SpaceX is gonna be debating you on flat Earth next week. All right.
Hey, Dave. Is Jimmy still playing the piano?
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah.
And the guitar.
Hold on. I'm here.
He knows two songs.
You still playing the piano, Jim?
Next week, there's a debate between you and the guy from SpaceX on the flat Earth.
I think Jimmy's got his jeans on from the day the dog fucking attacked him.
Let me tell you something, Lee. That was very traumatizing to me. Okay, I wasn't right for a couple of weeks. I was very shy at any kind of size dog. I immediately got the shakes. You know,
you weren't right for a couple of weeks. You've never been fucking right. What the fuck you on about?
Hey, Lee, I gotta tell you something.
That really put me over the edge.
Listen, when I hung out with him and Jimmy Quinn, right? I go,
oh God.
They used to go, none of your business. I go, how the fuck you guys benching like the whole rack on everything? And Jimmy comes over to me and goes, you see these fucking things in his tan bottle right here? And it was 10 anadrols a day for 10 days straight. You'll get like that.
Is that true,
Did you
Jimmy?
believe him?
Yeah, I love my Anadrol.
Dave, he used to open up his trunk. He had 15 bottles there.
Well, that's why he eats all hot dogs, Troy, because you can't eat anything else on anadrols. You have no appetite. All you can eat is hot dogs and shit.
Oh my God.
Exactly. And you can't get. Look, I still got my abs. Check it out.
I got news to you. It's better than Bobby Smalls, that's for sure.
Oh, but yeah, he's bad.
Hey,
Even
Lee,
with the
did you
fucking
know?
hot dogs? How about that?
Lee, did you know if you dig down 8 miles, you hit the bottom of the fish tank?
Well, Jimmy started now, so I'll see you soon, Jimmy. Keep digging.
You hit the ice
No,
wall.
Dave, I was telling Lee the other day, if I'm start digging a fucking hole right here in New York, right? And 6 months later, I make it through to Australia, all right? And then I jump through the hole feet first, and Lee's on the beach walking his dog. Is he going to see a man come out of the fucking hole feet first like a rocket?
Hey, Jimmy.
I want to know. I really want to fucking know, man.
Jimmy,
I want the fucking truth. I want the truth. That's what I want.
I think Bugs Bunny explored this in one of his episodes of.
Exactly. He ended up in China. But
Yeah.
Jimmy, it's been 3 days, Jimmy. I'm still waiting for my diagram of the seasons. Why it's summer here and winter there.
I know. I couldn't bring it with me over here. I got it in the office. I already threw it up.
Well, you know what you got to do. What you got to do is you got to bring it next week when the NASA guy is, when the SpaceX guy is here.
I thought that motherfucker was going to be here today. What
No,
happened? I
we
thought I was all
ran out of
excited.
time. We ran out of time.
He's in space.
It's actually
Look,
Olympia week. I know you guys don't remember that.
We ran out of time.
He's got to go up to the satellite with William Shatner, up to the space station.
That's right, William.
Oh, yeah,
William.
that's a fucking
William.
joke, too. Yeah. Hey, Lee.
William.
William Shatner's going to go fucking up to the in space. That a 95-year-old fucking. Was he going to have 9 oxygen tanks with him? The fuck? Get out of here with
He's
that
going.
bullshit.
He's
Captain
going up
Kirk
the
is going to the fucking
wait.
space station.
Hey,
He's
Lee,
going up-
That motherfucker go the fucking astronaut's chained for years, but this prick is just gonna jump on the shuttle and head up on up there, right?
That's right. Where do you think he's going, Jimmy? To Disneyland?
He's going. No, he's going up the fucking 2-headed green alien. I've seen the episode. He's going up to find him. I guarantee. Listen, I make a prediction now. This guy from SpaceX is this fucking brilliant mind. He's on these great wages paid to him by his boss. I guarantee by the time he's finished talking with Jimmy, he's going to quit his job and he's going to go drive a truck. He's going to go back.
Plenty of fucking trucks, man.
Where do you think
Hey,
Jimmy's
Jimmy,
taking all that soil? He's taking it to the ice wall every day. Dropping off loads
Jimmy,
there.
Jimmy,
That's
how's
what I'm
the
doing. I'm
brakes
bringing
on that
back
truck?
space rocks and ice.
Well, Jimmy, if the Earth is flat
How's the-
and you take dirt out of one side and you put it in your truck and you drive to
It
the other
tips.
side, and you dump
It
it.
tips.
Doesn't it tip? Yeah, exactly.
John, how
Why
do
is it-
you think we get mountains and hills, John? Because the Earth goes up. That's how we get mountains and hills.
Okay.
How's the
Something
brakes?
dumping a load.
How's the
George,
brakes?
another pretzel.
Hey,
George,
Jimmy,
another
how's-
pretzel.
How's the brakes
Listen,
today,
I'm
Jimmy?
not gonna quote scriptures, but in the scriptures it does say that God says the earth is like a stamp. You know, years ago when they put the melted wax and the king or whatever would stamp the seal on the wax,
Yeah.
and you get all the reliefs and hills and all that. That's exactly what the scriptures say. That's what this earth is.
Got
Yeah,
That's a big- that's a big
it has
stamp.
peaks and valleys and all that other bullshit.
So
And that's why fucking Lee gets the fucking winter now. The summer because Lee's fucking reversed about it. I got the diagram to prove it.
All right.
That's why he's
Hey,
fucking going
bring
in
it
the fucking
next week.
springtime now.
Bring it next week. I got to wrap this up. I got to actually interview a real person, Dan Solomon.
Now before Jimmy goes, I got to ask Jimmy, is that the fuck truck with the brakes you got right there today? Are you
Well, I'm
safe
glad
today?
you mentioned that because you know what? I had another truck with no fucking brakes, right? I parked it the other day and I told my fucking boss, I ain't taking that fucking truck. It's got no fucking brakes. He goes, no problem. Take 201, which is this one. So I took it out. I go get a motherfucker's got no brakes either, and the steering is gone. Fucking guy's fucking out of his mind.
They
Bob
give
Bonham.
Jimmy all the good. They give Jimmy all the good trucks.
Let's say a moment of silence for Bob Bonham here before we wrap this thing up. Bob, we love you, man, and we miss you. And Greg, thank you for coming on and sharing those very poignant stories with us, and everyone for sharing them. Troy Moore, thank you for joining us. Rob Jordan, thanks for coming on again.
Thank
and
you.
Lee, for waking up early. I'll see you in a couple hours for Iron Rage. For now, I'm Dave Palumbo for another installment of After Hours. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great
I love
Olympia.
you, Bob.
Love you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bob Bonham. May the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen.
All right,
God
guys.
bless.
Thank you.
Hey, Jimmy.